I'm Janice Edwards, and I'm on the set at the Academy of Art where I teach a class. And I had two very special guests who have been with Area Vista before, so we couldn't let them go without talking with them a little bit and sharing with you what they've been up to. Of course, I'm talking about the incomparably funny J-Red and Johnny Steele. You guys, great to see you. How have you been?
All right, but we were just talking a moment ago. I don't think I'm dressed properly for TV. I look like a parole officer and his. All right, we have introduced this young man into society.
I'm going to ask you, why do you have to be the parole officer?
Right,
well, because I just.
Why the brother got to be the person going to jail?
Well, it wasn't a race thing. It was you look more like Charlie Brown with that top. But it's just, I got boots on because I was doing something, and then I have this sort of working. I have that car to you by Tuesday, Miss Edwards.
You can tell my crime is embezzlement. As you can see, I look like a college student.
Right.
You certainly didn't steal any razors, that's for sure.
Well, you came back to school, and I appreciate you working with me here because, like I said, I couldn't let you go without talking with you. Think back to when you were first starting, when you were in school, looking toward a career. Did you ever think that this is what you'd be doing, the movies, the hosting, all that, J-Red?
You know what? I'll be honest. It wasn't until I graduated from high school. I said this all the time. I thought I was going to be an architect. I don't know how. I didn't know math, and I didn't know how to draw. But thank God for your mama, because my mama steered me the right direction. You were always in front of the camera, and you had a broomstick in your hand, and you was always Michael Jackson for everybody. So once I put my my red zipper jacket down and my glitter socks.
Oh, really? Stop going hee.
Yeah, stop doing a hee. You know, shout out to King of Pop. You know, I got on the stage and I pursued acting and comedy.
And it's gone well for you.
Oh, yeah.
And Johnny, what about you? Did you have people who were cynical about what you do in your life?
Yeah, I look
encouraging.
Well, my dad was very encouraging because we came from a blue-collar mill town where you basically graduated high school, had a baby, got a job in the mill, and got divorced in like 8 weeks. It was, you know, everybody did that. And so my dad was very encouraging, and he said, go out and do something that's fun, do what you like. And the funny thing, unlike J-Red, who was going to try and pursue a career that he had no talent at, architecture or whatever, I was luckily, before ADD was ADD, I had ADD, so what appealed to me was media, because if you're an accountant, it's all day, 3 + 5, you all got out of your mind. But in college you studied journalism, broadcasting, radio, on camera, teleprompter, an acting class, a theater class, you know, so
lots of things to stimulate you.
Advertising class, demography, you know, and so all these different things were before me, and I just tested each one of them enough to know that, you know, that if one of those opportunities came available to me, and they did, and I started stand up, and you know, you weren't even born yet.
No, I don't think I was. Yeah.
1938, I started comedy. We didn't have electricity then. We used the lantern. Who's funny now? And then the wind came, the show was over.
What did you say?
No,
it was the comedy of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Right?
What, these pterodactyls are driving me crazy.
But actually, speaking of school, you actually left school shy of your degree because you got that opportunity.
Yeah, well, I got a bachelor's degree from lovely St. Mary's College in Moraga in sort of the media arts, but I was going to pursue
So you were a smart comedian.
Well, no, I didn't want to go to work. That's truly it. And I thought, San Diego State has a media program, and it's near the beach. You know, didn't take a lot of convincing. I was not a great student, but the media arts. My brother was is a journalist. He's with the Los Angeles Times, and the movie was made about his life. And so I was sort of had media people in the family. My cousin produces for years stuff for PBS. So I had sort of encouraging role models.
So J-Red's looking at you thinking, okay, Johnny, can you hook me up? You got
no. Well, this thing is, I didn't go to school like you and Johnny. I went to a junior college for, I wouldn't even say a semester, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the actual professor said, I want you to understand that this was a creative writing class. And what messed me up, because the professor said, I want you to become the paper and I want you to become the pen. And that scared me out my mind, and I never came back. But you know what? Now I understand how important it is to take classes, and it really does help. So yeah, I think I might go ahead.
And to the kids out there, if you do study, you won't end up in the pen. That's very important.
Exactly.
So we run all the way around again.
Exactly.
See the trick?
Now see how brother still end up in jail again?
I just said, I didn't suggest that you'd be in jail. I just said you viewers, if you don't get an education, you'll end up in the pen. I performed at San Quentin.
I'm loving your words of wisdom. So before we go, why don't you tell each person watching here what from your heart is most important about pursuing your dream, your career, and making it a successful life venture?
Me first? I was not a working man. I came from a blue-collar working town. I'm not a working man. I did not want. I played football. I went water skiing. I went windsurfing. And this is what helped me pursue a career like this. When I was a kid, my dad's friend owned a brewery, not a brewery, a beer distributing plant. And one day in July, like before the 4th of July, 2 people called in sick. So he called my dad and said, "You got that big son of yours, don't you? He's just laying around the house doing nothing. We need help." So I went down there and I turned in 2 days. God bless people who work hard for a living. I turned in 2 days working in 100-degree heat, unloading like cases of beer out of a train car so the forklift can get them. And I went to bed that night saying, I will never work again in my life. And we work hard. We all work hard. But you work hard at something you love doing. So I just said, whatever I'm going to do, I don't have kids because that costs a lot of money. And I am going to pursue whatever it is that makes me happy so that when I'm doing it, I look at the clock and it's 5 o'clock, I say, darn, the day is done, rather than being angry about it. That's the same advice my
dad gave me. Do what you love.
Do what you love.
Do what you love. And just like he said, as far he does a lot more sleeping than me. But I think, what motivates me, though, is just the opposite, just to piggyback off what Johnny said, just what wakes you up in the morning. Like he said, if you can go to sleep and be at peace with what you're doing, also what motivates you when you don't want to get out the bed is what you love. Because even though sometimes in entertainment you have your ups and downs, you still get out that bed because you're passionate about it. Yes. And when you love something, you go through all the struggles because, no struggle, no progress. And I just really just have to say, if you're in it to win it, one actual casting director asked me, why do you want this part or why do you want to act? And a lot of people came in there and said, because I love it, I love it, I love it. And then I said, because I have to and I got to.
Yes.
Because that's all I know.
And and one tip along that,
do something else, do it.
And keep your mind open. And keep your mind open, because when you say this calls you, this may be, I started out as a comedian and then I filled in at a radio show and they said, would you ever consider doing this? I did a radio show for 2 years. That ended. I went to LA and did some TV pitches, came very close to a TV show. And then I came back to the Bay Area where I did a TV show, talk show, not terribly unlike this, for 3 years. And I thought, talk show? I never shave. I look like a thug. I'm not going to do a talk. And it worked. And I had the greatest time. I entered everybody from Spike Lee to David Bowie to Willie Brown. And I had the greatest.
Be out the box.
Yeah. And just be out of the box. Don't say, I'm going to, maybe some people say I'm going to do this and they do this and they're happy, but I just said I am going to do comedy, I'm going to entertain, I'm going to be a creative person, and whether it's interviewing people on a show or doing stand-up all alone.
Know what you love, stay open to the possibilities. And it's ultimately all about love and learning your craft. It's great to see you guys. Speaking of love seeing you. We'll have to do this again.
Yes.
But in the meantime, if you want to share the love, you want to contact J-Red or Johnny Steele, the information is on our screen also at BayAreaVista.com.
Area Vista.